Always Sunny gif, so I just pulled that down. I was in the middle of saying shit. This is probably more relevant though. I found a video I thought.
What's next for you?
I'm going to be getting into my major next year. I'm an engineering major currently, so I'm going to be getting into hopefully aerospace engineering.
I'm partnering with Microsoft to ask college kids what's next for them. What's next for you?
Right now, I'm just trying to get through school, get through my internships.
What's your major?
And estimating.
Sounds like you need to check out Copilot Vision. It can see what's on your screen, that way you can ask it questions in real time. For example, in your case, you could pull up construction plans and it'll walk you right through it.
That's a lifesaver.
What are your current challenges you're facing in undergrad?
Time management.
Have you ever tried Windows 11?
No.
They have a tool called Snap Layouts, which makes multitasking.
Wow.
Where it's always 100% the.
Oh my god. Okay, so I had some weird shit going on there. Okay, so I found this fucking video. Whatever I'm doing here. False start times couple. Trusty 8 back again. Yeah, Prism is not doing me well tonight. I think my phone's like overheating or something. This video is pretty short, but I've wasted a lot of time to get here, so. Leave me alone. Okay. So here's this video, I suppose.
Have you ever met someone like this before? You meet a friend, you kick it off right away. When the two of you are at a concert together, you run into someone you both know, and your new friend tells you that this person was awful to them last year. You're taken aback by their horrid experience, and you vow to avoid this person who mistreated them. But over time, you start to notice that your friend has a lot of people who've hurt them. Every 6 months ago, they're cycling through a new friend breakup or real breakup where they were the victimized party. You start to feel this palpable, you're either with me or against me attitude. And frankly, you're afraid of what they might do if you don't 100% support them, so your social network gets thinner and thinner as you keep cutting people off for them. At one point, though, you actually witness the victimization in question, and you start to realize that your friend has completely distorted what happened. They're framing this other person as someone terrible who's deeply wounded them, when in reality it was a much more ambiguous and nuanced situation than that. You tell your friend, you know, I'm just gonna stay out of it, I'm just not gonna get involved and pick a side, and what do you know? Before long, your friend is rallying their friends about how you harmed them too. If this sounds...
Does this sound like somebody we know? Does this ring true for anybody else? I'm sorry, but
familiar, you may have come into contact with what research calls a person with a tendency for interpersonal victimhood, or TIV, which is when a person sees themselves as a victim very chronically, even in situations where it may not be objectively true. New research has confirmed something that psychologists long ago theorized, that people who tend to chronically declare themselves as victims are often high in narcissism, and one specific type of narcissism in particular. I'm going to break down the study and tell you what real-life applications we can draw from it. Who's all compassion for you and... So the study in question talked about how the tendency for interpersonal victimhood, or TIV, is a personality construct characterized by chronically feeling victimized even across different environments and relationships. It contains 4 dimensions: a need for recognition of one's suffering, basically I want people to know how badly I've been treated; moral elitism, this idea that like other people are morally bad unlike me; lack of empathy, this feeling that once you hurt me I lose all compassion for you; and rumination on past offenses, where I can't stop thinking about how I was harmed by this person. But hold on.
Whoa. Well, we're taking all the boxes here. Welcome back, Cher and Daniel Berry. I believe we are back at this point. I think it was the GIF I was using that kept getting me messed up. Either that or my phone overheated. I'm not really sure. But either way, we're just looking at some content here. It might be a little relevant.
This is a pretty typical reaction for someone who's actually been victimized. When someone's been victimized, they of course want other people to know that an injustice has happened. Of course, they're going to think the person that hurt them is not a good person. Of course, they might struggle to feel empathy for someone who's treated them with very little empathy. Of course, they might get stuck in that mental space where they keep ruminating over what happened to them. You're absolutely right. This scale doesn't measure objective victimhood, it measures perceived victimhood. And when someone has just genuinely been victimized in some way, whether they've been abused, scapegoated, betrayed, harassed, discriminated, sabotaged, traumatized, they're probably going to score high on the scale. They perceive that they've been victimized because they have been victimized. But this scale isn't about measuring their feeling towards one person or at one point in time or in one situation. This scale is about their pervasive feeling of victimhood across contexts, across relationships, across time. If someone feels chronically
I can think of one person, like just right off the top of my head who kind of seems to fit in this category. Can you think of who it is?
victimized across multiple systems.
Hint, we've been talking about them for a minute here, like over the last few streams. Sorry. No.
Multiple relationships. It's possible that they're the unluckiest person in the world, but it's also possible that something else might be going on with the way they see themselves in the world. So the aim of the study was to see whether TIV and what's called victim signaling, which is publicly expressing one's suffering, are closer to vulnerable or grandiose narcissism. Now, narcissism, as we know it, is a defense against deep self-loathing. Narcissists actually really hate themselves. They feel really disgusted with themselves, but they wear this mask of arrogance and entitlement and exploitativeness so that they're not in touch with those deeper feelings. Now, vulnerable and grandiose narcissism are two subtypes of narcissism. They're not in the DSM-5, but they're largely discussed within narcissism literature, where grandiose narcissism is kind of the more stereotypical version of narcissism that we envision, the person who's very arrogant and grandiose and thinks they're a hotshot, whereas vulnerable narcissism is someone who's more vulnerable, who experiences a greater deal of self-criticism, social anxiety, basically just a type of narcissist who's much more in touch with the underlying deep self-loathing. The way I kind of think about it is a grandiose narcissist has their defenses really, really high where they're not in touch with that deep self-loathing. A vulnerable narcissist, they still take part in those defenses, but they're also a lot.
So I think our friend would probably fall into the grandiose category, but I'm not actually a psychologist here, but I'm just fielding a guess.
More in touch with what's under them. So the study looked at 400 participants in Canada. They were aged 18 to 71, and they assessed the two types of narcissism, the tendency for interpersonal victimhood, victim signaling, and the big 5 personality traits. What were the findings of the study? Personality traits show us a distinct pattern in how people perceive a sense of victimhood. A victim complex predicted both grandiose and vulnerable narcissism, but in different ways. For grandiose narcissism, it's more about directly signaling their victimhood in order to get attention or some other secondary gain, rather than actually feeling hurt. The employee who's always coming to their boss with some sob story about why they can't do their job competently, why they were late for the 7th time in a row, because they want to keep slacking. They're not actually feeling victimized in some way. They're not actually really suffering. They're putting on this facade of suffering in order to get something. But for vulnerable narcissism, it seems there's a level of genuine hypersensitivity, which interacts with their entitlement to cause a pervasive sense of victimhood. So in this situation, let's say an employee who's always getting into fights with their coworkers, who's always perceiving these microscopic aggressions from other people and genuinely feels hurt, so they're always signaling that hurt to other people.
Oh, I don't know. So he could be either one, right? I mean, we could infer that maybe there's some genuine hurt feelings here. I don't know. You be the judge.
Framing themselves as a victim. For vulnerable narcissists, it's much more about fragility and victimhood. Why is it about entitlement? Because if you think about it, a person who is entitled thinks that they should get special treatment, that they should never suffer, that life should just hand them anything they want. So if they're not getting those things to which they feel entitled, they feel like a victim because of it. Their victimhood is directly tied to their entitlement. The tendency for interpersonal victimhood was more strongly linked to vulnerable narcissism. So it does seem to to be true, that vulnerable narcissists have this victim complex more strongly. Victim signaling was also linked to higher extroversion and openness to experiences, as well as lower agreeableness. So here we're talking about big 5 personality traits. So the prototype you could think of is someone who's outgoing and emotionally open and expressive, but very self-centered and antagonistic. Maybe someone like Carrie Bradshaw, if I were to pick. The study had certain limitations, namely it was cross-sectional, so we can't assume causality. It was a Canadian sample. It's not necessarily...
Yeah, I'm just stopping it because of copyright infringement, basically at this point. But we know what we're talking about, right? Did anybody catch on? Do we know what we're talking about? I just want to make sure I don't have to catch anybody up here. This is the Trusty Ape Station, and my shit's all fucked up. I can't help you with that, but I thank you for watching and listening and all that good stuff, and we'll continue.
Representative of everybody. And the researcher was interviewed by someone who did an article on the study, and he really wanted to emphasize that the findings of his study should not be used to infer anything about politics or real victimization. The tendency to view oneself as a chronic victim exists regardless of background, regardless of politics, regardless of objective circumstances. But what are the real-life applications of this study? This gives us a
we're witnessing the real life applications of this in real time from the next contestant on this particular fucking program tonight. It's really, really bizarre and it's really interesting. Maybe I'll bring the antinatalist guy back to provide us some commentary in a minute.
Into the personality type of people who constantly so quickly veer into, I was wronged in some way. Let me give you an example. I once watched an interaction between two people. Person A mentioned she doesn't want to have kids, and person B asked, oh, I'm curious, how come? Person A then flew off the handle, started talking about how I don't owe you an explanation, blah, 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 blah. Turns out person B was also child-free and wanted to know if they had similar motives behind the choice. And it wasn't like person A had some sort of like latent trauma about being child-free. She was like this with everything. You could have told her, I like your hair today, and she would have been like, what do you mean by that? Some people will twist even the most innocuous interactions into something to be offended by. How does this show up in relationships? Sometimes a person will refuse to take ownership.
I remember one time, I was still like a preteen, so I was probably like 11-ish, and there was this girl, and we were being like flirtatious or whatever, and me and her friend, we went off in the woods, and it's one of my favorite stories of all time. So this girl that was like being super flirtatious with me, and we're both like, preteens, and we go off, and like I get her alone like behind this bush, and then her friend walks up behind us, and I like asked her to be my girlfriend, and she was like, what? And then I grabbed her, and I kissed her, like, not, like, it was like, pretty, innocent kiss or whatever. But I gave her a good big, like kiss, on the lips. And then she engaged in the kiss. She kissed me back, but then she all of a sudden pushed me away and she just kicked me right in the balls. That's one of my favorite moments in life. It's amazing.
Over their own contribution to conflicts, where it's always 100% the other person's fault. Even in situations where an objective observer would think, well, actually, you kind of made a few mistakes too, if we're being honest. They also might really...
Yeah, Cher says labels, your labels, I feel we have layers. Yeah, and our layers are constantly changing. We're like constantly evolving, like even in tiny... tiny spurts or whatever. So
struggle to feel empathy for the other person's point of view in a conflict because they've already decided that person is morally corrupt, that person has wronged me, they victimized me in some way. So it always comes back to acknowledge my perspective, validate my feelings, but never do they turn around and go, I can see how you might see things from your perspective as well. It's always like this in relationships with them. It's always my perspective is the correct one. Small or ambiguous issues tend to get blown out of proportion for them. With a person like this, they're eventually going to find find evidence of the crime that they're looking for, no matter how hard you try to be perfect. They will read into a moment when you're a little bit quiet that has nothing to do with them. They will hear you say things in a much more aggressive way than you said it, to the point where, like, if you were to ask them to paraphrase what you said, you would realize they just heard a total distortion. Like, you could say to them, hey, could you take the dishes out of the dishwasher? And they might hear, why haven't you taken the dishes out of the dishwasher yet, you lazy and bad person? People like this also tend to bring up past wrongs that you've committed against them even years later. That one time that you made a logistical mistake and rectified it as soon as it was brought to your attention, that one time years ago when you said something in a hurtful way and you apologized for it, that one misunderstanding between the two of you, it constantly gets brought back up. It constantly needs to be processed again. We're not talking here about actual betrayals, by the way. It's normal to still need to rehash things when somebody's been betrayed, sometimes even years after the fact. I'm talking about like minor everyday brushes with conflicts that are just a normal part of two people being in a relationship with each other.
Yeah. It's a normal part of human interaction going on over there. We're almost through this thing, which will get us on to the next thing. But I think we should go back to the last thing, because the last thing was kind of interesting too. I have a lot of thoughts going through my head, but hell yeah, it's fucking Wednesday. Personally, myself, I had other plans for this week, but those plans got washed down the fucking river, like a worldwide flood or something. I don't know. It was crazy. It was an act of God, but here I stand.
Or in more extreme cases, a person who constantly sees themselves as a victim might resort to Darvo, where they actually victimize someone else, but they flip it to somehow portray themselves as the victim. If you're dealing with somebody like this, at some point you really gotta stop arguing about what you did or didn't do and just cut the cycle. Don't explain, don't justify, don't defend yourself. It will get twisted, it will get used against you. You can validate their feeling, that can sometimes de-escalate things without encouraging their behavior.
Oh no, yeah, Cher says I'm feeling this. I've sat in a room alone, was cussing at my computer, and someone in the house heard me and took it personal. For sure. No, this is like referring to like literally lashing out at like a bunch of people who aren't even fucking involved. And then, oops, sorry, there we go. The fucking aspect ratio, right, you piece of shit. And this also refers to me, fucking with myself. And also, some people who apparently don't want to talk to me. I guess, one can only assume, right? From the, so yeah, that's fine. If they don't want to talk to you, be mature about it. That's fine.
Say, I understand that you feel hurt, or I can see why you might see things that way. You can send the message that their feeling is real and likely stems from a much more core wound that, probably happened years ago, probably during their development, and they let it become a part of their personality. And you can also stay strong to your boundaries while validating their feeling. You can state your point of view, stated just once, then stop engaging, stop negotiating what happened or what you did, and don't accept character assassinations. So that might sound like saying, from my perspective, I just wanted to know your reasons for being child-free because I also don't want kids, and sometimes it makes me feel less alone to hear other people sharing their reasons why. If they start smearing your name to everyone, or maybe even to your own face, you can say, I don't appreciate how you mischaracterized our conversation earlier. So if you put it all together, it can sound something like this. I understand you feel hurt, that my question probably stirred a lot of emotional validation that you've experienced in the past about being asked why you don't want to have kids. From my perspective, I just wanted to know your reasons because I also don't want kids, and it helps me feel more seen to hear other people's reasons. With that being said,
we could absolutely frame our questions better. That's what's true of them.
I would appreciate it if you stopped mischaracterizing our conversation to third parties. It's probably not going to work. They're probably still going to frame themselves as a victim, but what can you do? You can't control what they're going to do. All you can do is state your perspective, set a boundary, do it once, disengage. What about if you're someone like this? If you're hearing this and if you're...
Big John, she's the boss because she's a cute Canadian woman, I guess. I don't know. Apparently. I have no idea. No, this is from some study. And it was based on the study that we were talking about this. And she's basically just reading about it. I don't know if she might be a student. I don't think she's an actual like professor of any kind. But I just thought it was relevant to some of the people who were talking about lurking around the spaces, for those who need, like reiteration on everything. I feel like we have to say everything 3 times for emphasis, and so maybe we should just start doing that. I don't know, but welcome, and you know the fucking drill. We're back to doing our own thing. Like basically, like I said in the other stream before this stream got fucked up, and I had to make the 2 other streams, and now I'm here. Is like, get the fuck off me, you blood-sucking piece of shit. I'm talking to an actual mosquito. Sorry. Anyway, that was very unprofessional of me. I apologize. So I started this whole thing. I was listening to this very interesting intellectual antinatalist, and then moving on to this chick, and I was going to talk about the great late professor, Dr. What's his face? I don't remember the guy's name, but anyway, we're going to move back onto that content. But basically, like, people told me to just like do my own thing and be myself. So I'm doing that a little bit. Also, I've kind of lost internet connection, so I'm streaming from my phone. It's unfortunate, but whatever. I don't really ask people for money a lot, although I would like to get to NanoCon 2026. That would be nice. I want to find out about these orgy rooms for myself and do some further investigation. But that's neither here nor there. I'm sorry. I went off on a side quest there. Also, what the fuck was I talking about? Oh yeah, we're psychologizing this fucking guy over here. And I just think this kind of, it triggered some core memories for me, and I feel like we were on track.
Honest, it's like, maybe I have a little bit of a tendency for interpersonal victimhood. You gotta realize that, like, in the short term, you may gain certain benefits like attention and sympathy that feel really good initially, but it's not worth the long-term costs. Another study actually recently found that people who chronically signal victimhood are perceived as more narcissistic by other people. So people tend to clock it, they tend to clock this behavior, and they kind of get tired of it. You also have to realize that if you always move through life seeing yourself as a victim, it builds resentment. You start to self-sabotage your relationships. You start to isolate yourself across time. You are the type of person who needs to learn how to let go of a grudge. And something very specific you can do if you want to figure out how to stop holding a grudge is define what specific behaviors constitute real harm for you. So if a person does XYZ thing, that is real harm, that is real victimhood, and you are completely within your right to feel victimized by it. But then hold yourself to a very strict standard about not claiming to be a victim unless that line has been crossed, unless X, Y, or Z has been done. And also in relationships, always ask yourself, how did I contribute to this? And what might the other person's perspective be? Thank you for watching.
Yeah, that was well done. Much appreciated. Yeah. And we'll go back to the strange antinatalist guy just to give us a little bit of a buffer here. How y'all fucking doing tonight? It's amazing. I am the atheist Jay Bundy. Oh no, it's happening again. Here we go.
Pay it when I'm not making enough money. I'm working my ass off. I'm literally, let's say...
No, that is literally not my name. But fuck it. They can say whatever they want. I can say whatever I want. This is my fucking channel. I'm sorry. And we'll probably get back to that guy momentarily. Look, I've got a whole ass list of timestamps. I've thought this whole thing over, and I swear I might be doing it. It might be ill-advised, but I might be thinking about doing it. Pixie, what's up? Still out of town and working. Thank you for coming by. Yeah, Cher actually knows me in the real life. Not just the fantasy. But. Yeah, and, Cher has put up with a great deal of my bullshit, and I appreciate you for that. Much love, Cher. And, yeah, we're all just fucking humans, But regardless, some humans are doing some weird, crazy shit on the internet, and I'm watching it today.
Killing myself at work, more than one job, let's say, and it's still barely enough to keep up with the system. It's like, is the system trying to kill us? If so, can you just do it 1, 2, 3 instead of a slow, miserable way like it is? Seriously, man. And this is all basically what I talk about. I'm not crazy. I'm not embarrassed. I'm embarrassed of the life we live. That I will say. But me saying for what I'm saying, not at all, not in the slightest way. I have no shame in the game for exposing what this shithole is. I wish everyone in the world could be like me and, you know, have my mindset. Maybe things could be better, possibly. Just maybe. Who knows? Just maybe. I have no shame in the game. Because what do I have shame for? To say life sucks? It does. It fucking does. This is a shithole. And I'll say that with pride. A fucking shithole. A shit.
Dun, 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 dun. Welcome, Hillary's emails. I hear the Eye of the Tiger playing in my background music right now. That is what is on my... I don't know where the fuck this guy lives. I literally just like found this video and I thought it was fucking hilarious. In a really dark way. I mean, he sounds like he's on the East Coast, right? I mean, New York, maybe. Jersey, I don't know. He's probably in that area. But the landscape doesn't seem to add up with that. I don't know. But he's called Born into Corrupt Society 9 to 5. And I literally just this shit just comes through my recommended videos. These are the recommendations I get. I shit you not. It just happens to me. I'm not responsible.
That I ain't asked for. That none of us asked for. Oh, don't talk like that. You may need to see somebody now. No, maybe you need to go see somebody now. That's what I'll say. For just saying for what's the truth, I got to get help for it. I got to see a counselor and pay more fees. Now I got to pay fee for some moron to tell me bullshit in my head or whatever the hell. Okay, Mr. Justin. So I'm okay, Mr. My ass. You just want my money. You don't care if I get cured or don't cured. I mean, all this.
The fuck? I tried to mute myself. I'm sorry. I have no idea what the fuck I just did. Okay. I was just trying to mute my microphone. I am not responsible.
It's not even. Not that I have to be cured. There's nothing wrong with me in this sense. For just describing for what it all is. Garbage. Absolutely garbage. Just like I will say this, what's worth it here? What would I miss here? Not a damn thing. Not a damn thing. I'm gonna miss paying bills. I'm gonna miss trying to keep my head above the paper water. That's something I'd embrace to escape. It's just amazing how so many stupid people think us type of people that talk this, we're crazy or we should be ashamed of ourselves, or aren't you embarrassed of the things you say? Fuck no, I'm not. Not in the slightest way. I have nothing to be embarrassed for. I don't care what people say. People could talk out of their ass. I don't care. I know what I'm saying is the truth. And ain't nobody gonna tell me differently. Ain't nobody gonna tell us differently. Because we know what we see. I mean, it lies right in front of us. It's not no rocket scientist genius to figure it all out that this is a complete shithole of a world that we're all tossed into.
Yep. Big John level question mark? No, yeah. No, I'm the worst streamer ever. Just ask Michael Beverly. I am a very boring person, and I should probably go fuck myself, you know? I know how that shit goes. Been around long enough. I identify with this human being. Yep.
It's just having common motherfucking sense. Hear what this kid talks about, man? This guy is a weirdo, man, saying life sucks, life this, life that. It does suck. Tell me what's so good about life. Tell me. Those are the people you gotta say Tell me, what's so good about life? And I love to know what they say. They'll say something stupid, of course. They'll think they have an answer when they really don't. That's the funny part. They'll think they have an answer when they don't. Well, the good things to life is, getting married, getting a career. No, those right there is what makes life suck. Participating in the system is the main definition of how life sucks. Well, no, don't start a family. Don't bring another poor soul into this hellhole, bro. Please, do yourself and do your kid a favor. Don't. Just don't. Just please don't. Now, with that also being said, I'm not saying don't go for a career. Unfortunately, we gotta work. Like I always say, Sally, we have no choice. But to see that's what's good in life, that's what makes life suck. But at the same time, people think I'm saying, this guy's telling us not to work. This guy's telling us not to look for a career. And no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying how us having to do this shit sucks. But with that being said, I'm not saying don't do it. Do what you got to do to survive. Yeah, unfortunately, you have no choice. That I will say. But that's the thing. So many people got it all wrong. There's so many stupid people that just get everything all wrong. And they'll just make shit up about people that's not even true. Oh, this guy's...
Yeah, that's true. Big Joe Little says, I bet that guy is not rich. No, I mean, I don't think he's that well off, he's probably an average Joe like you and me, just trying to get by, just trying to feed himself, because apparently he doesn't have a family because he's an antinatalist, from all... I don't know if we've gotten into that part yet, but yeah, this is an antinatalist video. And I thought it was very interesting for that reason, but also because it seems to apply to our present situation. Just saying.
We shouldn't work. Well, I'm not telling you not to work, but I'm just saying how this is all we do, and it sucks. But with that saying, people say, he's telling me, don't look for a job, don't look for this, don't go to college, don't do this, don't blah, 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 blah. The only thing I'm really kind of...
It was like a friend of mine years ago. He tried to get me to follow him, like in an apprenticeship in his trade. He was like, fuck that. You don't even need to go back to school. Like, I'll just, apprentice you, and you don't even need to, go get your GED. And I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to go do this other thing and get my GED. But my friend was really trying to talk me out of it. He was like, no, just do, this trade or whatever. And I was pretty resistant to that. And I don't know, it is what it is. But I've gotten a lot of vocational training, subsequently, just based on my GED education, so.
Telling people really not to do is having kids. But I can't even do that either because, I can't tell people really what to do. Everyone has a...
Yeah, no. I mean, you can always tell people not to have fucking kids. I think it's one of the best things you can do. Even though myself, I did have kids. But, prior to that and subsequently, I've always, advised people to be very cautious when having kids because it's a delicate situation and stuff like that. So I agree with this person. Okay. And, we'll address, nothing. No, oh, wait, we got Sure said, my life kind of sucks. In the moment, my problems are 75% my doing and 90% in my control. 90% my control? Okay. I'm a little confused by that, but it sounds like both are, you're being held 100% responsible for your situation. Well, yeah, I get that. We're all kind of, in a way, 100% accountable for our situation, but there's, anyway. So I'm going to do the thing I'm not supposed to do now. So I got this video. Basically, this is the video of Bree. Try to be careful pulling this up. Yeah. This is the second video actually that Jay did on Bree. And so what I've done, I've taken timestamps out for some particular things I wanted to address. So full disclosure, I'm basically skirting around the entire section surrounding Bree. So we won't be seeing all of that because I think it's fucking sick and deranged that he did that, and that's kind of going to be part of my whole statement here. But I do have some other timestamps of things that he did and said here that we can look at. And I sat there and watched the stream, and I went and rewatched what I thought were the relevant portions, and so I'm going to try to tackle those as best I can. And that's where we're at. I mean, Bundy has become basically cringe content that we cover on this cringe channel in this little corner of the community. So, welcome one, welcome all. I hope you enjoyed it. You know, I hope it's fucking worth it. Me personally, I feel a little bit dirty about it, but no dirtier than anything else I've ever done here. You know, we are what we are. We get what we get. And that's about the fucking, you know, that's it. Oh, you think it's funny, John? No. It is a little funny, isn't it? I know, I agree with you there. So we have the whole musical introduction, you know, dancing, singing, all of this bullshit, and then we arrive here.
I'm laying. Them boys ain't gonna be here for a while. Yeah, them boys, yeah, we call them boys. Them boys ain't gonna be here for a while. So around here, we gotta handle that shit ourselves around here. Yeah, boy, show them how they do it down south, boy. So where did all the cowboys go? We trying to thug it out. Where did all the cowboys go? Cowboys, come on, get in here, y'all. Boy, I ain't playing with these motherfucking people today. We're here to shut down motherfucking NanoCon.
Shut it down. Write it down. Take a picture. Remember that. We're shutting it down. They're about to roll out with the Farm Boys. And yeah, it's a lot of like ridiculous fucking rhetoric. It's some really childish shit coming out of the mouth of fucking this guy. He shall not be named, an angry black man on YouTube. Let's continue.
But before we get into that, where are my gangsters at? Man, listen. Let me tell you something around here. We only want riders around here. Well, we, you know what I'm saying? We appreciate the lurkers. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, leave us a little comment down below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on the...
No, thank you, sir. Not now, not ever, not in a million centuries, my dude. No.
Notifications. You know what I'm talking about? Do all the good YouTube shit, but you ain't really part of this over here. Over here, we all part of something. We roll out on the ops around here. Where have all the motherfucking cowboys gone? We looking for the gangsters, the ride or dies, the people that want to go upside people's heads, neck, and shoulders, 24/7, 365, rolling out on the ops, shooting up their whole block, spinning the block.
Yep, okay. Right there. Gangster ride or die motherfuckers rolling out on the ops, rolling up. I mean, I think somebody else made that correction, not me. I just happened to be listening to some shit that said you were like, you know, sitting on some bullshit, right? Are these people sitting on some bullshit? I think they might be. I don't know. I heard that somewhere too.
Shooting it up again, spinning the block, shooting it up again. Like we ain't playing with these fools. So where are my thugs at? Where my thugs at? From the front, back, and was you feeling that?
Cat, I'm not controversial. I'm boring. Jeez. Haven't you heard? I'm just a boring motherfucker over here. I got nothing to contribute. What? See, and Knock is over there. I'm gonna fucking just say, he's like, I'm not gonna do that video. I was like, I wasn't gonna do that video either, but since nobody else has actually bothered to go through the video, I mean, I already gone through the video. I got timestamps and screenshots and all that good shit. Fuck it, I'm gonna go through the video. Fuck you. You're sitting on some bullshit. And that's all I got, man. No, I got nothing else over here. Except that weird anti-natalist dude. He was pretty funny, I think. But, you can be the judge of that.
Eat that. Trying to take our plans, see we don't need that. So don't play yourself. Where my thugs at? From the
That's right. Bundy has dance parties. He has karaoke's. He does it all. This man is a jack of all trades, for sure.
back, and was you feeling that? Put one gun up. Could y'all repeat that? Try and nano concept. We don't need that. So don't play yourself. You see what I'm talking about?
No?
Everybody that's ready to roll, I love y'all. I'm feeling y'all. Let's get into it. Let's get thuggish. Let's get fucking uncivilized up in this motherfucker. Let's get rowdy in this motherfucker. Because it's a motherfucking scam. Polaris Financial Planning, the American Loserist Association, the American Atheist, Godless Engineer. Sorry, I meant Godfather Engineer. Black Asshole. Sorry, I mean black trash bags. I mean black people don't give a shit about women. Sorry. Then fuck around with these tap dancing ass Sambo coon ass motherfuckers.
Yep, right there. There you go.
By SR.
This is your rational secular friend Jay Bundy over here. The dude that y'all be rallying behind, right? Is that I'm sorry. Did I use is this the right language? I was a little bit concerned about my speech here tonight. But no, really. Who was backing this guy up again? This is the party that we're rallying around? Is this the one? I'm sorry. I just wanted to make sure. Are we all
interesting? Recovering from Religion. Yeah, and they are also the organizers of the Secular Therapy Project, and then they're the people that have been hosting streams about Elliot and promoting his secular leadership classes. So good luck using Recovering from Religion and the Secular Therapy Project to, recover from religion and get secular therapy when they're literally platforming a goddamn sexual assaulter who threw a woman down the stairs, sexually assaulted her, and strangled her. And
I'm sorry, sir. Those allegations have not been I'm sorry. What were you talking about? Did you just say? What did you say? I didn't hear that.
Yeah, but we don't give a fuck because he helps us get paid. The Secular Student Alliance.
He helps us get paid. Just rolling in dough.
I know a bunch of people hit them up to let them know what's going on. They have had shit to say because they don't give a fuck. The Clergy Project, a bunch of Defiant Monkeys used to run the Clergy Project, and they're all in this fucking fucked up ass network together, so they don't give a shit. Then there's the Americans United for the Separation Church and State National.
He goes on and on. Anybody affiliated, anybody sponsoring, anybody. And I really feel like this is actionable. Like somebody could be petty enough, and it may be petty, but they could be petty enough to take legal action over shit like this. Right? I mean, I think I'm not mistaken there.
Elliot Martin's all up through the Nashville and Tennessee fucking secular community, so they don't give a fuck. Think Squared Media, don't know who that is. Stephen Barry, LMT Massage Services, don't know who the fuck that is. And Astro Pride literally wasn't even up in this bitch as we began our coverage way back in December. So they've been added in the last week or so to the website. So, NanoCon is growing and apparently attracting more sponsors in the middle of all this somehow. So,
Yep. Controversy breeds attraction. Thank you, Cher and Kat. It's never liked Jason. My only opinion on any of this is he's still a twat. Yeah. Yes, he is.
For them, I guess.
He's about, I think this is peak twatism for Jay Bundy. He's really rich. What the fuck did I just try to say? I'm sorry. He I lost my whole thing. So he has achieved, this is his apex of twatness, apparently. This is Jay Bundy's greatness.
Yes, good for them, I guess. I guess that's cool. The sponsors, the featured speakers of this year's NanoCon are this dumbass Matt Dillahunty. I don't know why anybody fucking listens to that dude.
I don't even know why Jay has a problem with Matt Dillahunty, but yeah, continue, go ahead.
Lack of promise and potential and integrity, Backlund.
I don't like that person either.
Hemant Mehta, the friendly atheist who's just so goddamn friendly. Apparently he's too friendly to call out the fucking covering up of sex crimes.
What a dick.
In the atheist community. Monte Mater, who does in fact
you get the picture, right? He's not going to say a kind word about any of these people, of course. It's neither here nor there, I suppose. Fuck it, I just hate everybody here. Like let's just go with it. Yeah, keep going.
what happened at NanoCon. Glenda Jordan, who I think is like the fire, terrible
Yep.
stripper, dancer, deviant sexual educator lady, because NanoCon's playing in your face and you don't give a fuck. Kevin Crow, who's also going to be featured at Rocket City Reason, which is organized by the Mafia.
Preach, brother, preach.
Crime
Fucking J Bunny.
Capo family of Godfather.
I know, but I'm the fucking weird toxic person here, right? Like this is totally. I appreciate how fucking strange it is for me to be covering this, because y'all know me. Y'all know where we've been up in these streets together, cat. These fucking weirdos, man. I swear to God. I swear to God, this is not a fantasy. This is our real lives. And I appreciate everyone who's joined me up until this point. Holy fucking shit. Okay, my timestamp is okay, we're gonna move on from this, but I'm supposed to let him say something else, I guess, in a minute here, so we'll do that.
Engineer Casey Gleason, Christina Celeste, Gail Jordan, who is the mother of Glenda Jordan and is also married to the internal investigator of NanoCon, who is also going to be on the board this year. But don't worry, he hired one of his buddies to do the internal investigation to avoid the appearance of a conflict of interest. Not a conflict of interest, not to avoid a conflict of interest, but to avoid the appearance of a conflict of interest. Because, it would look really bad if he was the internal investigator and then on the board this year. And then if he's botched and fumbled like dozens of these investigations. Yeah. David Teachout.
Dozens. Is there evidence of him botching any investigation at all? Aside from the allegation on this one, is there evidence that he's botched any investigations, Jay? Are you just saying shit? Are you just randomly pulling shit out your booty hole?
I don't have a fucking clue who that is. Sam McGuire, don't have a fucking clue who that is. Will Judy,
no.
Haven't heard great things, but don't really know too much about him other than I hear he's behind the scenes covering this shit up with everybody else. Jake Villa, don't know a goddamn thing about him. Looks like a fucking loser. And this human
loser. Yeah, Kevin and I are high commandos of the parasocial paramilitary atheist and atheist adjacent community recruited from our days of atheist trailer trash or whatever insanity is. I don't think I could have described that better myself, Kat. Yeah, no, I was. Anyway, I'm not gonna say it. See, I be getting too sentimental out in these streets,
waste of what I've been calling a perfectly good ejaculate, but certainly not a perfectly good ejaculate. Definitely belongs in the tissue, a dumpster, a toilet.
Well, I mean, if they formed a well functioning human, they're probably a pretty good ejaculate. I don't know, Jay. Be fucking compassionate.
Nope. Not in this fucked up ass timeline. In this fucked up ass timeline, we got the actual primate organism known as AJ Ruley. So have fun at fucking NanoCon.
I'll try.
On today's show, the main event.
I was like, should I run a fundraiser? Because I feel like I should be running a fundraiser at this point. It's just like, get me to NanoCon 2026. And I think I might actually try to do that. But time is running out. And I feel like I might have missed the bus. Literally and metaphorically. No, I would probably have to fly. Realistically, I'm going to look into the logistics of this and we'll let you know. But maybe a road trip is in order. Okay, and we're going to skip over a little bit here. Because we're all professionals here, right? No. I'm live streaming from my phone in a weird, dark place. But that's okay. Don't worry about it. Sorry.
Ops to see if they really about it. I want to be so motherfucking clear about why we are motherfucking here. Y'all love that shit when I be rhyming like a preacher? I want to be so motherfucking clear about why we are motherfucking here. I want to really see about these niggas. I came to really pull up to check up on these ops to see if they really bad. Give it to me
Erica
one more
has the
time.
audacity
One more time.
to then say the reason why I pulled up to the White House Correspondents' Dinner was to really like see about these niggas. I came to the White House Correspondents' Dinner to check on the ops. I came to pull up on the ops and see if they really about it.
I came to pull up on the ops to see if they really bout it. Real gangster. Real gangster. Well, you can tell by the way I hold my strap. I'm a gangster, AKs and 9s. I'm smoking loud and I'm on that drink at the party.
Right, yeah. I saved this for a reason. Did you catch this part? I'm just making sure we're going on almost half an hour into the video now.
We took the money, we took the cane, we took his car, we took his chain. We saw the cops, they came our way. We peeled off and got away. We taking over blocks, and if we run into the ops, they get hit with the 9. Hit with the 9. Give me all the money you don't want.
Don't worry. Do not worry. He is just playing. He's just playing, except he's not playing. Wait, was he playing? Or was he not playing? Or was he playing about the fact that he was playing that he was actually not Wait, I'm a little confused right now.
Be a dummy and get hit with the 9. Hit with the 9. Ba, 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 ba. Hit with the 9. Hit with the 9. Ba, 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 ba. Hit with the 9. Y'all didn't know I'm doing it again.
You realize this person teaches young people in a university. He's just another apparently rational actor in the YouTube spaces. And what was this? What the fuck were you looking at? I mean, I I'm sorry to keep, but I'm sorry, not sorry. What the fuck were you looking at, my friend? This is your dude. This is the guy you were talking about. You're like, no. Jay Bundy, he's totally, rational person we should be listening to. This was the guy. Just so we're all on the same page.
Y'all, I'm doing it again. It's my show. Did you forget this?
And I have not been the healthiest fucking person, Like, I've had my own share of fucking bullshit and cringe content on here. I've been looking back at myself. I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe I should check myself a little bit here. But this this fucking guy has reached a whole new fucking level, right? I don't think I'm exaggerating. Like, this is some fucking weird shit, dude.
My show,
like, come on.
This is my show.
6 fucking hours. Yeah, we're aware it's your show.
You do what you want on your show. This is my show. Well, you can tell by the way I hold my strap. I'm a gangster, AKs and 9s. I'm smoking loud, I'm on that drain. At the party, just committed a crime. We took the money, we took the cane. We took his car, we took his chain. We saw the cops, they came our way. We peeled off and got away. We taking over blocks, and if we run into the ops, they get hit with the 9. Hit with the 9. Give me all your money, you don't wanna be a dummy and get hit with the 9. Hit with the 9. Ba, 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 ba. Hit with the 9. Hit with the 9.
All right, and I don't even think I ended my timestamp back there. And so from here we're gonna like fast forward, going to the future, wherever this fucking stream is going, somewhere around here. This is what I got. This is where I put it, and so we're gonna start here. There may be a little bit of Bree in the stream, but it's kind of the tail end. But basically, I'm going to say this is like, if you look at this content and realize like most of this whole stream is Jay simultaneously saying, he's like, oh no, I'm Bree's friend. I had Bree's back. I was checking in on her. And then at the same time, there's this whole incident where Bree is like talking about Self-Skillet and playing with a gun on the stream. And Jay, by his own admission, while this is going on, he doesn't try to contact her. He doesn't try to contact anybody around her or like call a crisis hotline or something like that, Jay leaves work early to make sure he can film this shit to try to put together his fabulous conspiracy theory. That's the type of friend that Jay is. If you are having a mental health crisis and in danger of possibly unaliving yourself on a YouTube live stream, Jay needs to film it so he can have some receipts to try to fucking, put together his bullshit, was what I got out of that. And I don't know what what the fuck are you talking about, dude? All right, so.
You call the police and tell them you're thinking about harming yourself. You call 911 and say you're thinking about. You call a suicide hotline and say you're thinking about. You are going to find that there are
You were filming that shit, you piece of fucking shit.
ways that you don't have to have $1 to your name, that you can get some support when you are in that type of crisis. But for you to be going on for weeks and then months to every ear that'll listen about the mental health crisis you're in, but you just refuse to do any of the thing anybody has said to do to actually get help to turn this thing around. At some point, people got to get real with you and be like, look, if you need help, get it. But stop this. It's not fair of you to exploit other people's humanity like this. People are concerned of you, but you have to want to help yourself. I can't get your shit together.
Kat says, brother, imagine if I did some shit like that when Knock and I were beefing all those years ago. Yeah, I mean, it was a whole fucking scene. He's still going on. The dude did not remember who P-Town was. And, I've been, I'm trying not to be like a dick about it, but I'm like, I was there, you were there, like, we remember this shit, right? And I've been, interacting with these fucking people ever since, and not, rolled out. And, honestly, like a couple weeks ago when all this shit was unfolding, I was in the side chat. I was like, oh yeah, by the way, Jay lost his fucking mind. And not, basically has been kind of acting like he doesn't know who the fuck I am. That's fine. He can do that. I guess that's his decision. I don't know why. No explanation, but right, that's okay. We weren't like really tight or nothing like that, because I got closer to people like you, people like William, out here over the years. So it's just the way it is. But, Cher asks, why is he acting like a stereotypical racist? Because that's exactly what the fuck he is. And that's like most of his argument is like race baiting. It's like, we're just all white supremacists, fucking patriarchal. His whole fucking, that's all his thing. It's all like, it's like, dude, like, the people here like stand with most of what you're saying, like 99% of what you're saying, but we want it to be rational. We want it to be based in reason, not in, like your reactive feeling, whatever the fuck it is you're feeling. And really, he makes so much of this about him. Like, if you look at the hours and hours of content, he always makes it about him. And now, so I've noticed this dude is losing steam, right? Now that people are talking about it like he wanted, what's he doing? Oh, he's over there. He's doing, like 3 hours of streaming him watching wrestling and playing video games, not saying a fucking thing. Oh, and then he goes and he's car streaming. He's trying to clown on the Christians that he's roped into this. Ha ha. It's all a fucking game to this guy. He is not a serious person. This person is a fucking troll through and through.
For you. I can say I'm concerned about you, and I heard you might need some help. But now when you're going to throw me under the bus for showing concern about you, but I still have to hear the concern for you and feel that concern myself and hear that concern from my other friends while you continue to throw us under the bus and say that we're trying to push you to suicide. Let's be all the way real about what the subliminals Bree has been taking at me and PC are suggesting. That we have been the ones pushing her and fucking up her mental health. No, Bree, we have been the ones trying to say you need to be held accountable for your bad behavior in the situation the same way we have said about everybody else involved in the situation. We gave you no more or less special consideration than anybody else involved, and I was particularly disappointed to find out you were involved in all this because of our history. The same way I was with many other people I have history and friendship with that I found out were involved in this situation, and I've documented their involvement as best as I could the same way, without any special consideration or special malice towards
Me, I don't have a racist bone in my body. I don't even like feel it necessary, but I mean, I thank you. I appreciate that, but I don't feel it even necessary to defend that for myself. Like, no, I got over that one long ago. Like, that's why I always find it funny when people like preface a statement with like, I don't mean to be racist, but, and say something, it's like, no, either you are or you aren't. Like, you don't really need to like provide further explanation. Now, I think people can be misread, and like I'm a very sarcastic person. Sometimes I will be sarcastic with people. I've had people come at me about using this title, about using the word ape or using the word monkey or something like in my handle, and asking me if there's a racial context to that. And I'm like, no, like I'm fucking pro evolution. Like that's all it is about. Like, it's nothing beyond that. I just believe that evolution is a fact, and I think it's funny that people question that, and so I use that as a part of whatever I'm doing in my imagery, my messaging. But yeah, people often try to read into like, what do you mean by that? And so no, like I get it,
anybody. But you have had the audacity to play the victim the entire time. And then even as me and PC reach out to you to show support, you throw us under the bus and play your fucked up game and say we're trying to push you over the edge. That's fucking awful. That's cruel. That's ridiculous. And that is exploiting our genuine empathy and emotions. And
he's like, his genuine empathy, as he will, like, simultaneously, the next thing he's going to do is say, but while Bree was having this whole crisis on stream, what did I do? I left work early so that I could make sure I got the recordings. That's what Jay did in a time of crisis. Just remind yourself of that. And you can go and watch. I'm not going to watch all this shit. You can go and watch it yourself because I already done this.
Life tragedy that my people are living through. While you allow people who you're fucking around with to send that same advisor, my same PhD advisor that just lost one of his fucking mentees to suicide. Yeah, well, now he's worried about me because your people keep fucking harassing me, trying to get me fired. So now he just lost one of his mentees to suicide, and now he's worried about me because y'all are fucking telling him.
There you go. There he goes, making it about him again. It's all about Jay. Oh, look, no, my professor's worried about me because y'all are after my job. Never mind the fact that you want to run around the internet calling somebody a rapist, trying to threaten other people's fucking, livelihood. No, it's, wait, Jay Bundy is the victim here, right? Jay Bundy is absolutely the victim here. I'm sorry. Did I lose the narrative there?
Going crazy on YouTube, threatening people's lives with Rocky quotes. But y'all don't care what y'all doing to that man. Because you're playing your little fucked up game. No, you're going to get this accountability like everybody else. I'm really sorry about your mental health struggles. Get some fucking help. But you are responsible for leading the charge with the flying monkey narrative bullshit, and you are responsible for throwing Tsunami and our entire whistleblower group under the bus for transphobia when Tsunami was actually doing something inclusive. Whether you like the language she used or not is irrelevant. Whether you agree with her is fucking irrelevant. It was not transphobia. My goddamn college students understand that when I explain it to them. I don't know why y'all think I'm playing about this shit. So on 4 days after that, on the 13th, I sent a message to her because I was fucking pissed off and tired of the bullshit. Did I say anything wild and crazy to her? No. I said something very direct. I said, if you need real help, get real help. Maybe take a break from YouTube.
we have another potential? No, we're not trying to get this guy sponsored by BetterHelp, right? No, probably not.
If Bree was sitting in front of me right here today, eye to eye like I am with you, dear viewer, do you know what I would say to her? If you need real help, get real help. Maybe take a break from YouTube.
Dun, dun, dun. I guess that was it.
All right. Now we got some more shit to get into, but I want y'all to listen to.
So this is the part we're gonna skip the fuck over. We're not doing this. But I already basically informed you what the fuck we were talking about here. And so I will take a brief moment to check the chat. Cat said, kind of feel vindicated seeing people get burned by Jay because he was one of the crowd accusing me of things that I proverbially did not do. What goes around comes around. I guess I get that. You know, I feel like William, and this is why I made the statement I did, like William and Hillary's have kind of gone around taking a lot of the flack for that. And I get their characters now, like the things that they do in public versus like the interactions that we have, and how they will push back against that kind of like groupthink type of thing going on over there. But I also understand like the bigger picture thinking. Like there's our little circles, like us as content creators, and then people who are, you know, kind of organizing on a bigger level, and stuff like that. And I'm trying to, you know, like, you know, act or, you know, think globally, act locally, or whatever the fuck that saying is, you know, that type of thing. And so I appreciate that. But yeah, like I was like, oh yeah, flying monkeys. I'll give you some of those because they're right over here in my circle. Because I ended up being, you know, well, I am what you are. We are the same, right? We're kind of, you know, we're people who have been put into this box. You know, in these spaces, we're fucking rebels, you know, and I don't think people have quite figured that out yet. We're like the punk section in this fucking group of, you know, like a lot of people trying to get approval and trying to find acceptance. It's like, yeah, no, I get all that, but I also kind of want to do my own thing over here. And, you know, I did a little bit of that, right? But, you know, being serious about it and trying to like figure out, okay, where does it go from here? How can we make this thing, you know, more than just a fringe thing? And I don't think a lot of people really appreciate that, especially if they get kind of tied into these larger organizations early on. They don't see all the people that are, you know, kind of back in the spectator section and critiquing what they do and all of that. It's like a hindsight for them, where people like us may have been looking at it like all along a little bit. And like I come from that space of like, yeah, I fucking hated like the concept of people, you know, having conversations on the internet like early on. Like I thought it was probably the dumbest thing I could think of. Like really, like before I got into this, like when people were talking about it, they're like, have you heard this podcast? And I'm like, what's a podcast? And they explained it to me and I was like, that sounds like the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard of. I could just go have a conversation with a real life person or something. And so that was like my perspective. So I was like anti all of this. And then I got, you know, like a little bit of exposure and warmed up to it, you know, but I still have like reservations about some of it. So anyway, so we're going to go like a whole ass hour up here, past all this shit. This is where my timestamps have me at, and this is where I'm going, because I trust the timestamps. And here we are.
Yeah, silence about bad behavior is bad behavior. I agree. Yeah, this Cliff Notes, there was a conference, there was a open bar or whatever, or bar, and someone got blackout drunk, and people were fooling around, and someone got hurt. That's the bottom line. That's all it means.
Right now, I've given this example real quick, so I'll give.
So there's two different narratives going on there, right? And this is what he's misrepresenting, and he's done throughout, is the part where, so Bree's qualms, and I didn't watch the whole stream. I know Bree has come out on Nox stream to talk about this and really give more of the full picture, but it sounds like what Bree is saying was, that she was not there for NanoCon, but the story is that Elliot was blackout drunk that night, and pretty much everybody involved agrees on that. And then Bree saw Elliot later at BatCon, and Elliot was again very intoxicated, but nothing was reported to have happened that time. But Bree's saying, if the issue is alcohol, why is he now at another convention a couple weeks later getting shit-faced? So that's a thing, right? That's basically the claim that's being made there. And the other things you'd speculate on that were said there are kind of, it's impact. It's not really like he spent, like, we just fast forwarded like well over, it was an hour and 16 minutes or something like that. I don't know. I'm bad at math, but yeah, like on this one clip, like, and it's not very long, right? Like he took a couple clips and isolated that. Cat says, yeah, apparently flying monkey means something else now. No, I think we're still in the same camp here. They just didn't know they were with us or something like that. They got confused about where they were. I think we're all on the same page. Cher says, you can't be an intelligent asshole. Well, I don't know. Maybe you can, but... And Cat says, people talking on the internet is the best and worst thing to ever happen to our species. Yeah. Watching podcasts is similar to listening to AM radio. It is in a way. But like now, like we can watch podcasts from like musicians or comedians or whoever the fuck we want to listen to, right? So it's kind of interesting in that way. Or we can listen to this guy who's apparently, teaching people how to think critically at a university, a university somewhere. Because words come out of my mouth coherently. This guy, I don't even understand like what he's, well, I think I understand a little bit of what he's doing, right? But the motivations behind that are peculiar. And, yeah, I want to see his manifesto. Let's keep going.
Right. I'll speed run it here. And I've done this for my students because, again, I'm trying to teach my students about this since I'm having to learn in real life. They need to learn as I'm learning.
Another thing, I mean, he just brought it up a little bit, and I think it's going to come up again here throughout the stream. Most of the like important shit he says actually comes towards the end of the stream, which is why I kind of reserved all that. But a very important thing to point out, which Dr. Kip has pointed out as well, is that this man, teaches students at a university and uses interactions that he has online within his like lectures, his course studies. He uses his online interactions with his students as I don't know what kind of teaching guides he is providing there specifically, but he has acknowledged that many times publicly. So
somebody slips on ice, cracks their head on the pavement. That is a conference safety issue. Think about how you might solve that problem. Somebody who's not a legitimate attendee of the conference walks in, has a beef with a YouTuber who is a legitimate attendee at the conference. Since there's no armed security or or metal detectors or checkpoints for anybody to go through. They walk into a crowded auditorium, they take out a pistol, they shoot and kill the YouTuber, right? That is also a conference safety issue. Think about how you might need to solve that conference safety issue.
Just hypothetically speaking, if that were to happen, wouldn't it be crazy, right? And so these are the types of things he does throughout these streams, right? You see it right there. Hypothetically, if somebody were to walk into the auditorium and with a gun and shoot and kill the YouTuber, that's just hypothetically. I'm just introducing that as a possibility. Did you see what he did there? Just right there was. Yeah. So yeah, that happened. No, we didn't take the threat lightly, right? People did not take the threat lightly. They're like, what is this man fucking talking about? Did he just make a veiled threat to walk up into a conference and shoot a YouTuber? I think that is what just happened. I'm sorry. Were we just playing around on the internet again? Is this what we do here? Kat says, I like AM radio. I used to listen to my local AM station when I was younger. No cable or internet, just me, a radio, some whiskey, and all the push-ups I could eat. Yeah, I was into some weird, shitty shit. It's embarrassing now. I'm not going to talk about what I was into, but we did, I remember we had, like, the dual cassette deck recorder. This is one of the really nerdy things we would do. And so we'd take that little, like, the cassette dubber, and me and my friend, we would go make mixtapes, and we would get, like, stupid shit we liked from the radio at that time. And, this is probably like 3rd grade or something. And we would go and we would compile, we put all the songs together, and then we did our own, like, DJing in between the songs. We had the little built-in microphones, so we could, like, insert our commentary in there and just be really stupid. And, like, we were making, like, silly voices, and all of that, and like, fart noises, like, really immature. But that was, like, one of the greatest times, because we could, like, pretend we were doing the radio DJing and all of that. And, like, I kept those tapes for a little while, and it was fun. Yeah, for sure. I don't know, I just went off on that one. And Kat said, are you telling me that there is a possibility that he has brought up me calling him a piss baby to a class full of university students? Possible. Yeah. I mean, Knock is convinced that Jay's gonna go dig up the receipts to come after him right now. He's really he seems a bit fearful about this whole situation. Like, he didn't want to get involved. And I was like, dude, I was gonna be on that, but that's your channel. I mean, you can go do it yourself. And now he's, like, hesitating, and I think that's funny. But I have my own, my own little thing going on here. Whatever. It's not for me to judge, but good on you, Knock. Do whatever you want to do. That's fine as well.
All right, now here's the third scenario. One of the event organizers, alone in a stairwell where there are no cameras, after heavy night of possible flirtation, substance use, arguable consent or non-consensual making out, whatever it might be, find themselves alone in the stairwell with no cameras. Allegedly, she's thrown down the stairs, sexually assaulted and strangled. Do you see how these are all 3 conference safety issues that require 3 very different approaches? So
no. What the fuck did?
Sorry.
What are you talking about, dude?
Somebody got blackout drunk and somebody got hurt is not an adequate response. I hope you understand why. If not,
no. Like, if there's an open bar at the conference, like, what are you saying, sir? Yeah, maybe they could have cut Elliot off, except the story goes that Nancy was buying the drinks for Elliot. So how could they cut off the other? Well, dude, like, are you serious? Are you hearing yourself right now?
Try to revisit this in greater depth at a later date.
So now it's the fucking bartender's fault, apparently.
That need be addressed on that, because that's all that should really matter. on whether or not it gets addressed or
Yeah,
not.
Nancy's statement is a searchable PDF. Link in the description. Thank you, PC.
I'm a newly recovering alcoholic. I'm appalled that the blackout drunkenness issue was so terrible because of dumbass Jay Bundy making it about something it's not, when it is about.
Right. And right there at his stream, as he's recording this, he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm aware that Bree's actually gonna say that I'm full of shit, right?" But he's like, "But hey, don't mind that. You know, focus on this one thing I looped over and over again back here. Yeah, that was the thing I really wanted to record. Don't worry about this." Let's see you do a music reaction video. I haven't heard a lot of. Actually, no, that's a lie. So I have heard some new music to me, older music in general, but new to me recently. And I'm really struggling to remember the name of the artist now, because I felt like it was something I wanted to try to bring on the channel because it's like a smaller artist. But I'm also like afraid of looking too much like Jay right now, so I don't do a bunch of fucking random musical interludes while I'm doing this fucking thing. And Kat says, "Look, Knock just be out here doing things. I'm happy for him. Getting knee deep in shit definitely more daunting while sober, so I get why he's a bit leery of his own involvement at this point, LMAO." Yeah. I mean, I guess whatever. Sounds like a bunch of excuses to me. No, I'm playing, but you know, at the same time, I was like, you know, I went out here running my mouth, and you know, again, like I don't really feel any, but you know, I have, you know, I did pull up that stream where I was like, oh yeah, how long ago was that? And then, oh wait, no, I went the wrong direction. Hold on. So it's like up here, yeah, 25 years ago. Was the first time I was in a Nakasuchi stream, and don't bother listening to it right on my end. Like the stream itself is good, but myself, I had like shitty internet quality and all of that, and so my portion of the conversation is like really brief and awkward, as things tend to go, right? But I'm like, okay, so this gives me a you know, I have the timeline kind of starting to develop here. And as I was going through the other videos, I was like, okay, so some point, and then Knox started telling the story, and I was like, okay, I'll just let him tell the story. But he expressed that Jay had receipts on him, and you know, all of that good shit. And I was like, okay, well, you know, I've done my part here. You know, we'll let that thing do its thing, right? So that was about it. You know, I don't know. I didn't have anything beyond that. Yeah.
The way we handle things that happen at cons and the way that they're addressed with the public.
And there it is, right? What is the problem? It's mostly dumbass Jay Bundy fucked up the response. And then what does she say? When it is about conference safety and how we handle these events at conferences. So Sue, I want to give credit to Simone for pointing this out. What Bree is literally doing is trying to throw us under the bus while taking credit for the same exact message we've had since December. So y'all go ahead and take credit for that, but that's exactly what we've been saying. And so no, actually, we're not the cause of it being fucked up. We're literally the cause of exactly what the fuck you said, is where the reason the community knows that this happened and has slowly but surely been coming around to finding a way to address it.
And you know, I believe John. John said they addressed it back when it happened, when the initial agreement was made. John has recently addressed it again, and I find that adequate. I really don't know what the fuck Jay expects from people at this point. It's crazy. It's crazy.
So, you know, but again, Bundy derangement syndrome. Literally the problem.
And he coins them having Bundy derangement syndrome. We know where he got that one, right?
Is the drama.
We know where he got that one.
I started by hosting the whistleblowers to come forward on my channel to talk about this.
She literally made a video on her own channel, and then you collaborated But okay, yeah, that's fine too.
Not the man who.
And he says whistleblowers. Yeah, okay.
The woman down the stairs sexually assaulted and strangled her, or the organization.
And so Bundy's narrative keeps saying through. She was thrown down the stairs. The victim statement, the actual victim statement, the one that we read, does not say that. It says that she was pushed with both open palms, very specifically, but yet all of these people keep running around saying, he threw her down the stairs. He threw her down the stairs. And mind you, in the next line, it says that he himself fell down said same stairs in the victim's statement that is publicly available. It says that he pushed her and that he himself fell. That is what it says, word for fucking word. You cannot read it any other way. And where you get the term thrown is completely out of your fucking butthole.
In community leadership, content creators, and, you know, larger community that has watched and in many ways participated in the coercive cover up and conspiratorial harassment of the victim and the whistleblowers. Motherfucking Bundy derangement syndrome.
And the way that this was not addressed with the public is really the issue.
Literally, the way it was not addressed with the public. What the do you think we're doing over here? But again, they can't say we were right, because again, like MAGA brain, that would be a betrayal. So they have to say we fucked it all the way up, but actually now they are here to save the day and make it all about conference safety. Oh, and who do you think's going to lead that effort? Yeah, right. AJ and the internal investigation team and the same fucking fly.
I just don't like them. I don't like these people. I'm so disappointed that these people are doing the thing that I said that I wanted them to do, because I don't like the people who are doing it. Congratulations, you're funny.
Like they said earlier, like KW said, no way in, no way out.
Right? So
Jay Bundy wasn't at NanoCon, bought the open bar, exactly, KW. Jay Bundy's responsible for the war on Iran.
Right.
I learned about that earlier. I love that
weaponizing
one.
conference safety. I agree, 100%.
Oh, I got to tell y'all this story because Maya flipped out on my ass because somebody said that leaving one call for another probably wasn't their best idea. So Maya lost her shit, even though that person never said anything about me. And so now when I say something self-deprecating, like, oh, you know, I piss people off, or not everybody online likes me or whatever, my students will be like, yeah, FJ Bundy. And they laugh. And what they're doing is they're making fun of Maya. They're laughing because I showed them the clip in class. At the end of class one day, I was like, y'all want to see me get cursed out? And they was like, yeah. So I showed them this clip of fucking Maya flipping out like, don't talk about fucking Jay Bundy and my motherfucker.
Jay is such a comedian. He is so amused by himself. Cher says he keeps saying sexually assaulted, and all she says penis made a brief appearance. Yeah, and that's been gone over quite a bit, unfortunately. But yeah, it could still be sexual in nature, right? But by all accounts, what we are thinking by like a forceful sexual act is not really what is being described here. Now, physical violence is being described, but the fact of mutual aggression in this case is what is in dispute, right? So it's really hard to say. Like, the case itself is certainly interesting. And we have a lot of information, really, like compared to a lot of other cases. But the public spectacle, the multitude of opinions surrounding this is kind of unusual. And the fact of Jay Bundy, well, that's just, that's something else entirely. Because Jay can make a victim out of, just about anybody. That's what he does. He constantly runs around crying foul, crying injustice to anybody who will listen to him, and trying to target basically anybody who he thinks has, like done this, whatever. Like it could just, again, like a lot of his qualms here are over the act of platforming a person who is accused of a thing, right? We don't know that this person did the thing. They weren't convicted of a crime, but they were accused of a thing. And if you continue to speak to them publicly, then I'm going to target you too. Guilt by association, right? Yeah. That's what we're looking at. Serb, good to see you. I must be missing something. People start a thing. Guy from the thing does a thing. Guy gets removed from the thing. Thing is still going to happen. What's wrong? Yeah, no, I support the thing. I also want to, I'm just calling out the fact that Jay rolls around the internet just doing this shit all the time. And so we're getting there. But basically, the person calling for all the cancellations is actually the most toxic, unhealthy person imaginable. And so that kind of needs to be recognized. Because a lot of people run around the internet doing this type of work and claiming that they are crusading for justice, and they forgot the most important rule. My mama taught me, and hopefully their mama taught them, that an injustice plus injustice does not equal justice, or in civil terms, two wrongs don't make a right. That's just not the way that shit works. I'm sorry, but that is a basic ass concept I think we should have all learned a long time ago. We got some side banter here. I'm not going to address that. Y'all can battle it out amongst yourselves. I'm only going to go on for about another minute, and then I will probably resume this shit later. Because I've been running my mouth long enough. I have tech issues coming into this, and it's almost my bedtime.
Losing their shit. My students think that shit's hilarious. Now they'd be like, yeah, FJ Bundy. Oh, I love it. That's the beauty of being a fucking professor in the goddamn middle of internet drama. Not that it's really drama, but there's drama about the real shit going on for sure.
I know that there are multiple investigations. I'm not talking about the assault. I'm not talking about what he's been accused of doing. I'm talking about what he actually did do.
What did he actually do? Right now, you're putting the pieces together. This is the same Bree that is saying Nancy told her way back then, the morning of or whatever, when she first hit her up, that he attacked her in the stairwell. So now she's trying to say, I don't want to, not what they're accusing him of doing. Again, we ain't accusing him of nothing other than what the fuck Nancy said. And again, this is the disconnect they're trying to make in their head. They're still trying to isolate December. They're still trying to say, well, the shit they started saying in December, that's not really what this is about. Again, even back in December, we were with Patty, and Patty was showing us the receipts based on her conversations with Nancy, the emails she sent out, the shit she knew about Nancy's testimony. We had Nancy's text saying he's a woman beater and he's going to get away with this. And yeah, throwing me down the stairs and being strangled was fun. Like, I'm glad they're having fun at my expense. Like, we had all this shit in December because literally Patty was so fucking pissed off. She was willing to let us publicly share her text message.
This is all after she met with her husband, apparently. It's when the story changes. When the story changes. I mean, that's just the way it went down. I don't know. We'll end with our strange antinatalist friend here and say
Get
goodbye.
ideas and insights from experts in
Let's
your
do
field
that.
on
I'll
LinkedIn.
thank people in chat as best I can. Sorry I fucked everything up tonight. It's just the way I do. Shut the fuck up with this bullshit.
Everyone has a brain. Well, I should think. Actually, speaking of that, maybe not. I was gonna say everyone has a brain up there. No, actually, I'm wrong. Nobody uses their noggin up there. But what I'm trying to say is everyone has the right to do what they want to do. Of course, people, if they want to have kids, they're gonna have kids. But people just get everything all backwards. And that's the part that makes me laugh. That's the part that makes me giggle. And then,
Thank you, strange antinatalist guy. That's born into a corrupt system 9 to 5. I also appreciate people in the chat. I saw a cat, Cienfuegos, Cher Wilkes. I saw Big John Level back there, and other people. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights I know was around. So this has been another Trusty Ape co-production. As you know, we do around these parts, and we do it as best we can. But I don't guarantee like the product quality or anything like that. You get what you paid for, which is exactly fucking nothing. So donate money to me somehow, and maybe I'll get to NanoCon 2026. Otherwise, I'll just keep minding my own fucking business and making weird YouTube videos and stuff. Basically, did I say everything I needed to say? Thank you to the Flying Monkeys, and other people who've engaged with the channel lately. It's been a strange and fascinating ride. Also, I don't know where the fuck to go from there. I'll just say be kind, be well, and stay trusty. I forgot one of those things. What was it? Oh, just stay trusty, and we'll see you next time. All right. Bye-bye.